The Eagles proved again on Sunday why they are the elite, the alpha dog of the NFL. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some areas for improvement still early in this season. We're going to talk about what the Eagles proved, but also where they can get better. Trend the AM, talking Eagles. Phillies final 6 starts tonight. Flyers, they're playing preseason games? Who knew? Trend the AM. We're live taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button. Wherever you're watching, please share this out and, of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network page. We hit 661 overnight. Let's continue to grow that number. And, of course, vote on our YouTube poll question of the day. If you're watching on Twitter, you got to head over to the YouTube page, linked in my bio on Twitter. And I also have this show linked somewhere on my feed as well. Head on over there. The YouTube poll question of the day. Do you believe Nick Sirianni that Kevin Patullo was still calling plays in the second half of that football game on Sunday? Yes or no, with he was covering for his guy in parentheses. That's your poll question of the day, guys. But make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and, of course, share this out on all platforms. We got lots to talk about today. We're going to get into some of the things that Nick Sirianni spoke about yesterday, most specifically the play calling from this Eagles team. So we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the things that the Eagles need to work on because the Eagles proved something. They made a statement on Sunday. They are still the alpha dogs in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think there's still a lot that this Eagles team can build upon. This Eagles team, despite being one of the few 3-0 teams, is not without some flaws that can get better. So we're going to talk about how to get them better, the why they need to get them better. But the fact still remain that it was a statement to play a less than perfect game and still come out victorious. Phillies start their final 6 games today. The final 6 begins, which means we are a week away from the Major League Baseball playoffs. So let's just get a little pulse on the Phillies today as well, you know, what they need to do. And I don't really want to talk Flyers, but, you know, I saw a video that Matvei Michkov scored a goal and a penalty kick. I had no idea the preseason hockey was already going on. So I'm just going to throw that out there as well. Sixers, whatever else you guys want to talk about on the agenda. Yes, good morning, Adam. Yes, 661. 39 from 700. We're this close. You can't get to 1,000 without getting to 700. So everyone needs to, you know, keep hitting those buttons there for me. Jalen was definitely calling the plays in the second half, especially with that up-tempo offense. Yeah, see, so obviously Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday, as he always does on Mondays, his Monday after the game press conference. And he was asked, obviously, about the play calling. And he said, yes, Kevin Patullo was still calling the plays entirely through the second half of that football game. And the question's honest. I mean, it's not a negative question. It's not a bad question. Do you believe Nick Sirianni? Nick Sirianni has, I hate to use the word lie, but lied to cover for his players and coaches in the past. He has openly admitted that one of his biggest jobs as the head coach of the football team is to take the bullets from the media. So is he taking a bullet for Kevin Patullo? Is he just hiding the fact that they had to make a change 2.5 games into the season? And so far, obviously, the voting is 4-0. Yes, that Kevin Patullo was not calling. No, he was not covering, and Nick Sirianni was covering for him. I want to have faith and believe what my manager, my coach says, but also I do understand the taking the bullet for Kevin Patullo. It's hard to imagine that Kevin Patullo called every single play in that second half of the football game. It's very hard to believe that it was going as Nick Sirianni claims it went. When you watch it, when you watch the up-tempo offense, when you watch the drastic instant, if it was just like a slight pivot, I could believe it. But the massive difference between the first 2.5 football games to the final half of that third game was such a drastic change that it makes it hard to believe. Jalen Hurts is the damned head coach. I mean, it very well may be an accurate statement there, Nooms, that this is, what elite superstar MVP caliber quarterback is not at least partially the head coach? Patrick Mahomes has a lot to say with Andy Reid there. Tom Brady had a lot to say with Bill Belichick. You look around the NFL, who really runs that offense? Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh? I mean, even though they lost, so maybe that's a bad example. Josh Allen or Sean McDermott? Actually, Josh Allen's a terrible leader. But anyway, there's got to be somebody else out there. But anyway, Jalen Hurts. So maybe Kevin Patullo was calling the plays to an extent to get them to the line of scrimmage. When the plays stalled a little bit or when they huddled up, Kevin Patullo would call one or two plays, give Jalen some theories, and then when it gets up tempo, Jalen was just doing his thing. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that he was calling the plays, though. They just need to realize they don't have to run to set up the pass this year. Last year set it up. And they got to understand that 2025, Nooms, is different than 2024. While your personnel is mostly the same, it's different. Okay? They got to understand that teams know what they did last year, and they have to do something different this year. There's a lot of things that they've got to understand there. And I still find it very hard to think it's going to be everyone's concerned about the passing game, and it kind of broke free there in the second half. I'd be more concerned about the running attack not being as crisp as last year. Now again, you got to show that you could pass to open up the run, and Jalen Hurts did perform like he did Sunday's second half a lot early last year to get Saquon Barkley going. But the run blocking has not been good. The blocking schemes have not been good. The offensive line in general has not been as great as it has been in the past. And it's mostly the same guys. You subbed out Mekhi Becton for Tyler Steen. That's it. You got injuries. Lack of depth there. Good morning, Duck. How you doing this morning? Oh, obviously not very good. Sitting in jury duty. You got your headphones on so you can listen in a little bit, or you just commenting quietly from the jury room. I've never been called. I am 44 years old. I'll be 45 later this year. Never, knock on wood, never once been called for jury duty. I kind of curious about that, but I would like to. That Ravens-Lions game was a great game last night. I watched some of it. I fell asleep about 10:30, 10:40 last night, Adam. But good on the Lions to win that game. Why is it good for the Lions? I don't know. Because the Lions are our competitor to get back to the Super Bowl, and I still think the Lions win their division, and I told everybody to relax on the Lions. They had a new offensive and defensive coordinator. Obviously, there was going to be some hiccups there. To Ravens, 1-2 to start the year. Unfortunately, a tough start to their schedule. But, man, people got to be getting frustrated in Baltimore with that start. Fred Johnson needs to start. If Lane Johnson cannot go, Fred Johnson needs to start. That's the thing. Now, Lane Johnson still claims he'll be good to go. Let's hope so, because obviously Lane Johnson's better than Fred Johnson. But if Lane can't go, absolutely Fred Johnson will start. Patullo's calling plays, so that's why running plays don't work, because it was obvious and allowed them to stack the box. Yes, but you can still call running plays if the pass is shown to be effective. If the pass is effective, it makes calling those run plays, whether they're predictable or not, a little easier to succeed at. Got called for jury duty one time, so I've never done it before. And I don't know why. I mean, I've watched one too many crime dramas and crime TV shows. I want to hold somebody's life in the palm of my hand and say, guilty. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I am. I've been called about 6 times since eligible. Wow. I don't even know when you become eligible. But I haven't been called once. My wife has been called multiple times. I've never been called once. Anyway. It's funny. Last week, we spent a lot of time complaining about one Elliott Shore-Parks and his comments on WIP that if they lost to the Rams, it would be an acceptable loss, a scheduled loss, whatever. And I hate that loser energy and I hate that loser mindset. And I'm not trying to suggest that is okay this week. But with what we saw in the second half of the game against the Rams, I'd be willing to take a chance to run that style the entire game, even if it fails, just to get that offensive momentum going again, if that makes sense. I think I didn't say that quite right. I've only sat for 2 juries? Okay. All right. I know when you get called for jury duty, it doesn't mean you actually get to be a juror or anything like that. I wonder, and this will determine whether Kevin Patullo was still calling the plays. If on Sunday we see this more dynamic offense, but we see it not in up-tempo. Because the up-tempo kind of loosened things up. The up-tempo does put some of the decision-making in the quarterback's hands. If they run the same style of offense next Sunday, but not in up-tempo, then that tells me that it was still Kevin Patullo. Hurts is so much more mature than the head coach. Well, first and foremost, I don't know if you saw it. Somebody said it yesterday. I had to look it up. Aaron Glenn, Jets coach, celebrating on the blocked field goal that didn't win the game like he thought it did. If Nick Sirianni would have celebrated prematurely like the Jets coach Aaron Glenn did, we'd be destroying him in Philly today and yesterday. And Hurts is much more mature in general because, as he said, the Super Bowl win, the Super Bowl MVP validated him, gave him the confidence. You see him getting in people's faces a little bit more. You see him leading a little differently. We got a Bucs fan in the house. What's up, Bucs Rays Bolts? As Bucs fan, hope good game. We always want a good game. No team wants to lose, see their team lose 30-3, or who wants to see their team win 50-3? It's boring football. We want a good game. And we know from the history, the Bucs will give the Eagles fits galore. And to this day, maybe a Bucs fan can comment, why does Todd Bowles have Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's number so? Like, we've got Sean McVay's number and the Rams' number. But Todd Bowles, what is it about one team? Because every year the teams are different. The theories might be the same, but the teams are different. What is it that the Bucs do that kill the Eagles every time? Whether it will be a factor, yeah. Whether it will be a factor, or whether it will be a factor. I don't know what that is there. Since the Eagles was run heavy last year, I guess they have to go pass heavy to change it up. They've got to show the ability to pass the ball at them. That's what they got to do. They got to show the ability to pass the ball so that they can set up the run, to scare them away. There isn't anything wrong with a slightly immaturity in your head coach. Quarterback maturity at that level is unusual. Yeah, you know what? If you're not the play caller as the head coach, the style that Nick Sirianni has, I think is acceptable, actually, Duck. You could be that loosey-goosey kind of guy. Take the edge off. All right, we gained one more subscriber today, 662. There we go. Blitz. Now, the side thing with it, the funny thing about that, if it's the blitz that Todd Bowles brings, is it different than the other blitzing? Because the thing is, Jalen Hurts is actually very good at picking up the blitz. This year, he's been phenomenal at it. Go back and watch some of the tape of the Chiefs game. Steve Spagnuolo blitzed him at a rate higher than he has in over 6 years, blitzed any quarterback. And we were able, Jalen Hurts was able to break the blitz down. But yet he can never break down the blitz of Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles' blitzing is totally different, and it's crazy. Heat 103 at kickoff. So, bringing up what this Bucs fan here is mentioning with the heat and the weather, Nick Sirianni did change, guys, if you didn't see this, the travel schedule for the Eagles. The Eagles normally practice Wednesday, Thursday, walk through Friday, travel on Saturday for the game. The Eagles are heading down Friday instead to get acclimated to the heat change and the excessive heat down there in Florida, and then they'll have their walkthrough on Saturday. So a slight Eagles scheduling change. And that's Nick Sirianni as the leader of this team, trying to find any way to, A, break the Tampa curse, but B, have his team best prepared and adjust it for this situation of it's going to be a hot-ass day. Bowles has always been a gifted blitzer. He was. And you know, when the Bucs hired him, I thought he was just one of those guys that was always a great defensive coordinator, but never would be a great head coach. I really thought his tenure with the Jets was just atrocious, but that was just more of the Jets, obviously. Obviously, he's done very well coaching the Bucs over the last couple years. But he's always been a gifted defensive mind. Maybe we do need to crack out the pickle juice on Sunday. The pickle juice game? Sure. You know, honestly, I've done pickle juice before, too. You know, on a hot day at the pizza shop in the summer when the kitchen's 104, 140, and you can't cool off, and bottled water isn't doing it, just pour a little 4-ounce souffle cup of pickle juice and just knock it down like a shot. It helps. It's gross, but it helps. Hurts wasn't always good at picking up. He wasn't. He has gotten better. He was better at it last year than people realize, and he's been great at it this year so far. The Bucs are a better team. That's why. They're not better than the Eagles yet, but, I mean, they seem to have, overall, they're not better than the Eagles, but they do seem to have the Eagles' number always. Look, I have nothing negative to say about the Buccaneers. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan in the sense of where his career started and where it is now, and the fact that he hasn't given up, and he's turned his career back around in Tampa. There's a lot of positive things I say about the Bucs far too often, honestly. I'm a huge Mike Evans fan. I always say Mike Evans is the most underrated wide receiver in football. They're a team full of guys that are easy. The Buccaneers are a team full of players and coaches that are easy to root for, in my opinion. I love the people that believe the offense coordinator decides to change his game plan all by himself. Same people that believe everything on CNN. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's leave the CNN part of it out of it, Eminem. But I really, truly believe we're at 70% say no, 30% say yes, that Nick Sirianni was being honest that Kevin Patullo called the plays. I can't believe that much changed in one halftime. 5 halves of football of one style, and then just like that, it changed. It's hard to believe. It's supposed to be stupid hot and humid in Tampa. Yeah, at this time of year. Definitely not because the quarterback was pissed at it. Yeah, definitely not because the quarterback yelled at him on the sideline. Take care of the Commanders next time. Yeah. All right, we will. Jalen Hurts reminds me of Tim Duncan, fundamentally sound and just wins, mature beyond his years, and always gives his team a chance to win. Steven, I love the Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental, okay? The old, what do they call him, Mr. or Old Fundamental, whatever. I love that comparison. Stays out of the drama, keeps his mouth shut, never gets too high or low, emotionally speaking, in a game. This is a fantastic comparison from you, Steve. I love it. I find that we bring in return specialists, and they all suck. Well, the Eagles brought in a new return specialist yesterday, Xavier Gipson. They claimed him off of waivers. Originally, I thought Darius Cooper was going to go on IR because he's a wide receiver, Gipson, and Cooper got hurt, but they waived Kenyon Green again. instead to open up that roster spot. Darius Cooper still might be hurt and still on IR at some point if they need another roster spot. But Xavier Gipson. Now, I watched a video yesterday. We talked about it a little bit, about how bad the Eagles were at muffing fielding kick returns. Nick Sirianni took blame, not, preparing the guys for, he called the Rams kicker knuckle kicks. And this other guy, this other content creator, don't know who he is, never heard of him, did like a 4-minute video breaking down all the different kickers in the NFL that do what the Rams kicker did. And it's something you're seeing more and more of. So these kickers are purposely landing it on the 15-yard line when the kick returners are playing back on the goal line. And then when a kicked ball hits the ground, it bounces in any direction. So they got to be better at that, and they got to be better prepared for that, the Eagles. But John Mechie, I didn't know this, never returned a kick in his entire football career dating back to high school before coming to the Eagles like 4 weeks ago. And you got him back there returning kicks. The ball's being kicked away from Bigsby. He did botch one, but it's called a pickleback. So I know I've been in restaurants a long time. Well, picklebacks are not the same. Okay. Good morning, Reality Check. What's up? Baker Magic. Baker's a special player. Not the most talented quarterback. But I'd rather Baker than a whole bunch of other quarterbacks that people would say are better than Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield might not be as talented, but he's got a little bit of that. He's Jalen Hurts Jr. He's got a little of that it factor that Jalen Hurts has. It factors win you football games. Whoever wins Sunday will control the NFC, and number 1 seed is up for grabs. Still early in the season for that, absolutely. But you do have 2 of the remaining undefeated teams battling it out. So, everyone was ready to write the Lions off after 1 loss, and I wasn't. Hell, I'm not writing the Ravens in the AFC off after 2 losses in 3 games. It's still a little early to say who controls the NFC, no matter who wins the game on Sunday. It'll definitely put them in a good spot, but you got to wait till week 6, 8 till all these teams are playing at their best form or worst form. Then again, the Eagles completely changed in 1 bye week last year. That's true. 1 bye week last year, and the tides of that season changed drastically. It's interesting. Patullo was not calling those plays. Sirianni was taking heat off his buddy. And I do truly think at least some of that was there. I think Nick Sirianni could have taken a bullet for his buddy, but still been a little bit more honest. Well, he didn't. He called the plays when they were huddled up. But obviously, in a no-huddle, up-tempo situation, the quarterback's got to make the decision on the fly. He could have easily said, Patullo said, let's go up-tempo. Here's your starting play. Go from there. And I would have believed Nick Sirianni a whole hell of a lot more. Just throwing it out. He could have said it that way. What's up, man, Chatter? How you doing this morning? I'm compare Baker to Jalen. Well, I think personally, obviously, I'm an Eagles fan. I think Jalen Hurts is obviously better than Baker. I think Jalen Hurts has a little bit more it factor than Baker. But Baker's right on up there for me. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. The Eagles are way better on the road than they used to be, like the Commanders. It'll be fun to see the false hope again. We'll see. I have no idea how I feel about how this game will play out just yet. I got to learn about Lane Johnson. I got to see a lot of things before I make a prediction for Sunday's game or even feel how I feel for the game. The knuckleball kick is not new. It's similar to what they use for onside kicks. Exactly. It's definitely not new. But with the new rules, you're seeing more and more use of it. Not every kicker, I mean, Jake Elliott's not doing it. But a lot more kickers are line driving it, short kicking it, hoping to get the ball to bounce one way or another. Are Ravens down to rank 4 in the AFC? I don't know. In the AFC, I mean, they are 1 and 2. I'm not doubting the Ravens will recover, but right now, the AFC is the Bills and the Chargers, without a doubt, and the Colts. I guess 3 weeks now. I guess it's time to put the Colts. I guess it's the Bills, the Chargers, and the Colts are your top 3. I still would put the Ravens at number 4 over some teams with more wins. But yeah, birds aren't losing sleep over a tiebreaker. Yeah. Rush is washed up when Dart. I mean, there was another report that they're going to discuss Jackson Dart. I just feel bad for Russ. I mean, Russ might be washed, but he did throw for 450 yards 2 weeks ago. If Bucks don't have Evans Sunday, wide receivers. So what I've heard is that Mike Evans probably will not play, but it looks like Chris Godwin will be back. So there's that. I'm a huge fan of Mike Evans. I've always said, I mean, the dude's had more. I don't think people realize how many 1,000-yard seasons Mike Evans has had. You think Hurts is better than everybody? Bucks are going to be hurting if Mike Evans isn't available with that hammy, and he always has hamstring issues in his career. That is one of his knocks. Evans has not officially been ruled out. He had an MRI yesterday, I think they said. They haven't revealed the results of that, but they are expecting a little bit. Bye week was super early. If have them a full team adjustment. Yeah, I mean, it helped. The early bye week helped the Eagles massively last year. Now, maybe the week 9 bye week this year helps us again as well. Godwin in play, he's still questionable. Gotcha. See, I like having this. And we talk here, we go live every morning, Bucks, Rays, Bolts fan. We talk everything Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, all the above. And then on Sunday at 1 p.m., we will be live on the channel for the entirety of the Eagles game, doing a watch party. So if you want to interact politely, because we let all fan bases in this channel, hit the subscribe button and make sure you're here every morning. We have a lot of fun here. Bills, Chargers, Chiefs. So you're putting the Chiefs still up there. I think I would put the Chiefs. I would put the Colts ahead of the Chiefs. Dude is a jackass. He act like he is Bill Belichick, and Jalen is some unknown player. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about there. What's up, Mr. Jason Lee? This week, I don't know if you noticed it, I changed the color of my overlay. And I know you understand and appreciate it. The orange color on the overlay is honor of the late, great Bernie Parent. It's the only orange overlay I had. I didn't have anything more Flyers orange than this available. But this is my dedication this week to the great Bernie Parent. We are going orange on the screen this week. How about the Packers? I'm not panicking after one loss for the Packers, but also on the other side, Bucks fan, I was not a big believer in the Packers to begin with. I always said before and after the Micah Parsons trade, they were still the second best team in their own division. They were always going to be a wild card team. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I would take Baker Mayfield ahead of Jordan Love, though. You learn way more from a struggle than you do with a blowout win. Absolutely. The Eagles learned a lot about their team in that come from behind close victory like that. You're talking about the Eagles offense coordinator is an idiot. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that he's good yet at his job. Will he become good at his job? We don't know. You cannot panic, though, and overreact to 3 games. Teams that are in still technically their preseason to an extent. Kellen Moore was not firing on all cylinders through 4 or 5 weeks last year. It wasn't just the defense that pivoted in the week 5 bye last year. The whole team did. Need to take play calls away from him. And you know what? If there's still struggles, week 6, week 7, absolutely. But they're not going to make that drastic change that quickly. No team would. Going to have MRI data. So, Evan, I thought it was yesterday, but today. Gotcha. So it's good to have a Bucks fan in the chat. Irving is a top running back. Yeah, look, the Eagles' run defense is something I want to cover. Why did the Eagles' run defense get so bad this year? And the Bucks have 2 quality running backs in Bucky Irvin, and he's kind of taken over for Rasheed White. But he's still a really solid number 2 running back. They have a very good running attack in Tampa. The Eagles gave up a crap ton of yards, well over 5 yards per carry to the running backs of the Rams. Kyron Williams almost doubled his output from the first 2 weeks of the season. He had like 123 yards combined the first 2 weeks. He had 95 or 96 on Sunday. Colts are having an amazing run. Indiana Jones, not Daniel Dimes, fell into a team with everything. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think every season of his career, he's had 1,000 yards. Yeah, I don't know if I know like through 8 seasons it was at that. I don't know if he's kept it up through his whole career. But The dude's, he's always misses 2 or 3 games with a hamstring, but Mike Evans is never talked in that top 10 list, but should be. Amika's scary. If you're scared, get a dog. Chiefs have 2 top wide receivers out when they return. I don't know. I still think the Chiefs make the playoffs. They still may win their division, but there's something off with that Chiefs team right now. Their vibe is down. Bucs usually start off well, then lose games they should win and sink into the playoffs in a weak NFC South. Yeah, it's true. They've done that before. I was just going to ask if Amika is good. He's good, yes. It's hilarious the Vikings let Darnold and Dimes go. Now they have both ball. Yeah, look. I mean, Danny Dimes was with Minnesota for what, the last 2 weeks of the year last year? Yeah, that's right. Kind of forgot about that. Definitely forgot about that. I think Eagles 1, Bucs 2, 49ers 3, Lions 4. Not ready to, you're just talking NFC. Not ready to put the 49ers up there that high. I would go Eagles 1. Some combo of Bucs, Lions 2 and 3. 49ers 4, Rams 5, something like that. I was just working on my updated power rankings before the show. Actually, yeah, so I got the Eagles, then the Bucs, then the Lions, then the Niners, then the Commanders, then the Packers and the Rams. But that's not lock solid yet. Love at a good deep ball. If you have a good secondary, you can own them. He's good, not great. His name is Abuko. Sorry, whatever his name. You guys know me and names don't normally work out very well. Jones can have his first half success. There are a number of quarterbacks in this league that are beneficiaries of lowered expectations. That is true. That is very, very true. In the NFC, man, chatter saying Eagles, Rams, Lions, Tampa. Yeah, I don't want to write the Rams off just because we beat them. The Rams team is pretty special, and they're going to continue to be really talented this year. Is Tampa tight ends any good? I haven't really dove deep into the Bucs lineup yet. Mike Evans is the best wide receiver over the last 15 years. He just tied Jerry Rice's record with 12 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Stop restricting. Nobody in this stream has disrespected him. We've all been talking about it. I've been talking about Mike Evans, so it's up to 12 straight 1,000-yard seasons. It's insane. Insane. Phil, are you feeling better about Patullo? No, I'm feeling worse about him. I don't believe Nick Sirianni's comments that he called all those plays. They will either have Quinion Shadow, Abuka. If he lines up outside, Dejean would have the other. I mean, that's kind of what you got. Evans have 11 straight. 12, 11. It's a lot of straight seasons of 1,000 yards. I predict Panthers will humble Tampa in a few weeks. I don't know about that. Andy Reid and Travis Kelce got into it. I did watch that yesterday. After the show, I went and found that video. Very interesting. We'll stay. That's right. Like the stream, subscribe. Guys, everybody hit those buttons. Y'all see the buttons. Hit them, please. What's up, by the way, Davey? And good morning to you, Bruce. Hope you're well. They may bracket one of the wide receivers, but the Birds know Quinion can shut down. And we saw Quinion at the highest rate of his career shadow a wide receiver on Sunday. He shadowed Davante Adams something like 60, 70% of the time. And those are the times that he shut down Davante Adams. 20 watch, only 13 likes, guys. Maybe we could do better than that. There's 18 people now watching. You could hit that like button, guys, and vote on the poll question. When it is man coverage, yes. This is just proof how bad New York organizations is. Even a below-average quarterback like Danny Dimes is doing good now. Like, it's not just Danny Dimes. It's Indiana Jones, first off. It's the fact that they let go him. They let go Saquon. There was somebody else that they let go that's doing well elsewhere. Travis Kelce is, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't retire. He'll definitely retire after this year, but he just might call it quits in the middle of the year. I really want to see the Chiefs keep losing because I want to see if Tay shows up to all his games if the Chiefs are like 2-8. His son will face Philly. Good, who cares? Cade Otton at tight end, he's pretty good. If it's Cade Otton, yeah, he's a guy I've been watching for a while. Watching him rise through the ranks of, backup tight end to a really good tight end. I feel the Rams could be the second best, even in defeat. And even though they're not even first now in their division because the 49ers are still undefeated, This is not as crazy as it sounds. They are a very good team, the Rams. Absolutely. Despite us beating them, despite us overcoming all the obstacle and odds, the Rams are still a very good team. On a tight end one. Back to the Rams for a second. Who was it? It was Matt Ryan was on whatever show Matt Ryan, former NFL cornerback, former Falcons quarterback, 28-3 loss. Matt Ryan was saying that the Rams team should be thinking that we lost, but we know we are at least as good, if not better, than the Eagles. And that was being blown out of proportion, his statement. He was more talking about what the mindset of the Rams players should be in that locker room. And it's true. The Rams know they're a good football team. They know they can hang with the best of the best with honors. Otto, tight end one in fantasy. Yeah, he's a starting tight end, I think. Phil, I feel he told Patullo that he's making big mistakes and said he better start making some change. My guess is that Jalen said, yo, let's run up tempo. He got his wish. They started running up tempo. Kevin Patullo gave him theories or some plays, and Jalen Hurts called on the fly. That's my theory on what happened. A Buka Moss sauce. No, I know you were. Okay, God, I just wanted to make sure. Make sure you didn't think I said something. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes the words don't come out right. I've been talking Mike Evans up. Back when I used to still do fantasy football regularly, I always reached for him early in rounds. So I always knew he was a guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver every year. Number one cornerback got mossed by rookie. I don't care. Dynasty over. They have hard times, even beat teams like the New York Giants. KC dynasty over. Yes, it might be. I don't know if one bad season ends a dynasty, so to speak, Eminem. If they have to pivot and make big changes and whatnot, as long as Reed and Mahomes are there, even if they have a down year this year, they'll pivot and be good again next year. So, it would need to be 2 or 3 bad years in a row before I'd say the Chiefs dynasty is over. I mean, they've been to 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. Three out of 4 or 3 out of 5 is still really damn good. 41ers, I know. Exactly. I bet you my brother starts watching the 49ers again because they're good. Because my brother's only a 49ers fan when they're good. When they're not good, he's very busy at work. Just surprisingly, shockingly, he's only got free time to watch football in the good seasons, and he's very busy during the bad seasons. What did my dad do wrong to raise 4 Eagles fans and 1 49ers fan? I don't know. If they want any shot at the Super Bowl, they need to trade with Miami Tyreek Hill. It seems like such an obvious thing, but I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll do it. If I was the Giants fan, I'd be very mad and maybe switch to the Jets. Well, that means you're not a good fan then. You can't quit on your team when they're down. You can hate them. You can criticize them. You can blast them on social media, Bruce. But you never quit on your team when they're down. Giants built from the outside in. They are just not good at evaluating O-line talent. Taking Saquon without an O-line was buying the... Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with you on that, Nooms. And a lot of teams do this. They don't know how to properly build a franchise. You build the offensive line, the defensive line, then you get your quarterback, then you go after your skill players. Eagles, Rams, Packers, Lions, Bucks. Personally, just because of my original feelings on the Packers, I'm going to bump the Pack. I would prefer you to flip-flop, make the Lions 3, the Bucks 4, and the Packers 5. I'm not putting the Packers ahead of 5 in my NL or NFC. The Rams just not on the Eagles level, even with the. I think the Rams are one of the biggest threats to the Eagles. I truly believe that. Look at the quarterback. If 49ers, for example, win 5 in a row, but quarterback mid like Mac or Purdy, you won't. Yeah, look. What can we say about the 49ers? I mean, they're winning games with Mac Jones right now. That's not sustainable, right? What is more sustainable? And I know Brock Purdy will be back soon, if not this week. What's more sustainable? What Indiana Jones is doing with the Colts or what Mac Jones is doing with the 49ers? Let's be honest. Chiefs had bad start record last. Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid's been known. We had Andy Reid here for a long time. Mad Chatter, we know Andy Reid has slow starts to seasons. How many times with the Eagles back in the day was Andy Reid 2-2? And then there we are playing in the NFC Championship game. 49, that's my brother. My older brother, for some random reason, was a 49ers and Bulls fan. Probably because he grew up in Montana and Jordan Serra. My brother was a bandwagon jumper. Still is. Psychologically, the brother with the best hair will tend to follow a California team. He don't have the best hair, okay? Also, worse could play this week. Yeah, I really, like I said, Bucks, I haven't done, I start doing my dive for the opponent on Wednesday afternoon for the Thursday morning show. Monday's instant reactions. Tuesday's kind of recapping. Wednesday's a little blend of both. Then I really dive into the team. So I haven't really done a whole hell of a lot of research on the Bucks' first 3 games yet, but we will get there very soon. If any team is in shot for a Super Bowl, Tyreek Hill is the last person I'm getting just because of the locker room dysfunction. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I don't even know. Am I wrong to say, Reality Check, that he doesn't even want to play football much anymore? Like, isn't he kind of like the Ben Simmons of football? Like, just kind of getting ready to tap out on the sport? At least I thought I read that once. But they let Saquon go, and Saquon, absolutely agree. So you'd be pissed. You shout and scream. You beg for the owner to fire the GM and coach. You don't stop cheering for your team. Real true fandom goes deep. Deeper than you always cheer for the name on the logo, the Eagles, the Giants. You don't cheer for the name on the back of the jersey. Yeah, Bucks tackle. The Niners have one of the easier schedules in the league. It's more sustainable for them. It's a fair statement. The Packers are fine, honestly. We need to stop being so disrespectful towards the Browns' defense. The Browns' defense is amazing. They have truly held every offense this year so far. The Browns' defense has always been, even the last couple of years when they're losing, Reality Check, the Browns' defense has been good. The Packers will be fine. I just don't think the Packers are better than the Lions, better than the Eagles. I think the Packers are a good team. They're a near lock for a wild card spot. I just can't put major hype behind that team yet. I think Eagles have had a slow start, in my opinion, and are not gelled fully. And yet, guess what? While other teams haven't had good starts and are 1-2 and 2-1, the Eagles have had a horrible start. Guess what? 3-0 against good teams too. Takes about 3. I say it takes 4, but 3 is fine too. Phil in denial over his hairline. Oh, I never said I have good hair. My hair is even worse. I need a haircut, but I banged my head the other day. And I got a huge gash on my head, so I can't even get a haircut right now. Still leaking blood 2 days later. I really feel the Packers went into that game underlooking them, got their teeth kicked in. The one player on the Packers was talking about how we're such a good team, we're going to go undefeated. And then they lose to the Packers. They were definitely smelling their own. They said, oh, my shit don't smell. You could get a hair plant sponsorship. I should. I always wanted a beard sponsorship. A beard sponsorship and a coffee sponsorship. But I don't know who to talk about with that. I'm not sold on the 49ers. You barely beat 3 mid-teams. Let's slow. I am definitely slow on my. Well, I'm not slowing down on my hype on the Rams. I'm absolutely slowing my roll, keeping the roll slow on the 49ers. I tried to park at a game at Raymond James the other day. It was a pain in my ass. Had to park way back behind a college. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Get hair implant. I don't actually. I'm fine. I don't believe in implants or wigs or anything like that or toupees. This is the way God wanted it. That's the way God's going to keep it, okay? And I'm not saying you're disrespecting the Browns' defense, but when what I'm talking about is we're not talking about how good. Oh, I actually agree. I don't think we do talk about it. It's the same thing with the Giants. I mean, there are bad teams that have some good aspects of their teams. The Browns' defense and the Giants' defensive line are good. That's why when a team needs a cornerback or a lineman, the first rumor is that they're going to trade for somebody from the Browns. 4 games, 3 games, whatever, right? It's apples, it's oranges, whatever. With the talent the Eagles have on offense, Nick and his offensive guys might not be intelligent enough like Detroit in the way Detroit gets production with Goff at quarterback. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing today? Does Nick and Patullo hold the Eagles' offense back? Patullo obviously was. Do I want to put Nick in that group too? I mean, Patullo is his guy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this statement. I got to think about this one a little bit, Jonathan. Denzel Ward and Garrett will always have the Browns D in the mix. Absolutely. Two of the best at what they do. Too much talent. Oh, stop. We're not getting that. I think Denzel is the more technically sound cornerback in the league. I mean, there are a lot of Eagles fans were looking for the Eagles to add him to replace Adoree Jackson. Manscaped sucks as a sponsor, just so you know. Unless they've changed over the years, but I used to be a Manscaped sponsor, but they literally give you nothing, okay? They give you some free T-shirts and a promo code that 975,000 people have, so it's near impossible to get people to use them to get a commission on it. I'm not looking for affiliates. I've just looked at one company, and they only do affiliate stuff, and affiliate marketing sucks for the people doing the marketing. Giants D-line is great. Green Bay suck. I don't think they suck, but they're not as great as people think. Lost to Cleveland with 500 years old quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. Suck. Lost. Yeah, no, I got that. You're getting so excited. You 3 tries and you didn't get the wording right, guys. We're 48 minutes into the show. Let's do a quick refresh here. Let me see my numbers here on the side screen here. Okay, see where we're at. 662 on the subscribers, 16 likes. Numbers are going up today on the show. Pretty solid. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. The poll question right now, do you believe Nick Sirianni that Kevin Patullo was still calling plays in the second half? Yes is at 33%. No is at 67%. I'm always right. Affiliates, the biggest scams. Absolutely agree. We do all the marketing, and they don't give you anything. The biggest part of the scam, if you don't know what affiliates are, a lot of these companies say, here, tell everybody to use your promo code, BEARD or TRENDING, at checkout to save 15%, and then you'll get a 15% commission. All right? But if you go to their website to enter the affiliate code, the company always has a 20% discount on the screen. So if I tell a stranger named Big Al to use my 15% code to help me make some money, or are they going to use it? Or are they going to use the one on the website that saves the affiliate the company money, but gives the customer a bigger discount? It's the biggest scam in the world. And that's why when I saw that that's the only option from the mushroom company, the mushroom coffee company I like, I'm like, nah, I'll find someone else. I lost all faith in Green Bay when they lost a team like that. Look, you know, everybody's going to lose. No team is going to go 17-0. You hate to see them lose to a team like the Browns. But a loss like that to the Browns early in the season, I think is more manageable than a loss to a team like the Browns late in the season. Sometimes a team needs a little kick in the face or kick in the nuts to kind of get them going. And if anything, that loss to the Browns could be a good thing for Green Bay. The wake-up call they need to be like, hey, we think we're great, but we still got to go out there and prove it. Look, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, and I'm saying the Eagles proved something again this past week against the Rams. Every year you got to reprove yourself. Every week you've got to reprove yourself. So I don't know if I want to say I've completely lost faith in Green Bay after one early season loss. Screw Phil, I want the 20. Let's go to 20, sure. I do want sponsors. I do want sponsors on the show. And I have begun to start Google some things. And I've got some ideas. But, you know, again, I work 70 hours a week, so it's kind of tough. Anybody that believes he did all the play calls by himself with no input, this is why I put in the poll question, no, in parentheses, Sirianni was covering for his guy. Because I think Patullo still may have called the plays, but he might have gotten some input and help from Jalen Hurts. Or it was more of a collaborative effort than just Patullo just calling it. And I think Nick Sirianni could have phrased his answer differently that would have made us question his answer less. Did I explain that right? It really is, that thing. See, here's the thing, Bucks Rays Bolts fan. If the Bucks lose Sunday, it's okay. Absolutely. Right? Because it means the Eagles win, and we're 4-0. No, seriously. Losing is okay. But see, we had a big beef with one of our main beat reporters of the Eagles last week because he was spreading on the radios and on social media that it was okay that he was. I don't know how much you know about Doc Rivers, but Doc Rivers with the Sixers used to always tell the media that there's a such thing as acceptable scheduled losses. And ESP last week was trying to phrase it in a way that sounded way too much like Doc Rivers, which grinds our gears. But yes, you are going to lose games. You can't go into the game saying it's okay if we lose because you want them to win. But after the loss, you could say, well, we learned from this, or this is a building moment. You don't have to pay. One loss does not mean hit the panic button. And it's hard for me to explain that exactly, but there's no such thing as an acceptable loss. But after the loss, you can find ways to learn from it to make your team better in the end. Because again, nobody's going to ever go 17-0. It's not really a scam, but more of betting the person won't think critically or just blindly trust the concept. Then you have the other side of marketing playing on people thinking everyone is false. Yeah, it's not a scam per se. It's affiliate marketing is just an easy way to get free advertising. Manscaped promo code Bald Eagle. I've done Manscaped plenty of times with plenty of early startup networks, and you do a lot of work for Manscaped, and you get nothing but a little pack. I heard about that. That and taking advantage is distracted culture. Yes, that is true. Hell, in Philly, there isn't even acceptable wins. There's no such thing as an acceptable win. But you don't have to panic after a loss, especially early in the season. is completely writing the Packers off after one loss. And I get why, but on the flip side, it's not an acceptable loss, but it's a loss where you could definitely learn from things. Yeah, escape is why. It just sucks. What's up, Mr. Meche Poe in the house? 7 away if it hasn't changed. 7 away for you. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscribe, and that share button. Okay, so if Kevin wasn't calling the plays, then who was it? Because we all know it wasn't Nick. And if you believe it was Hurts, then fire Kevin now because Hurts is a god and doesn't. So what I think truly happened was Jalen Hurts went to Kevin, and Singleton was there on that sideline, spat, and said, yo, take the training wheels off. Let's open it up. Let's go a little up-tempo. We need to do this, this, and this. And Kevin Patullo was like, sure, I see it. Okay, let's do it. Okay? He got Patullo to loosen it up a little bit. When it's up-tempo like that, the offense coordinator is clearly not calling plays in no huddle. Okay? It's call a couple of play schemes and then just run it as you go. You huddle up once and say, here are the next 5 or 6 plays that we might use. Hand signals 1, 2, 3, whatever. And then Jalen Hurts calls from a short playbook on the sideline or on the field as the play goes. I'd be more happy to do the affiliate with products I like. Well, that too. Understandable does not mean tolerated. Exactly. And understandable and tolerated. I absolutely agree with you. Sometimes I read comments and don't really think about it. It's understandable why a team loses on occasion. You learn from it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's tolerated. I think it's the same thing as accepted. Call great win for Eagles. Call luck or skill 2 blocked punts. The second blocked punt, when you listen to Jordan Davis talk after the game, was actually more skill than luck. They had studied the angle of the kicker. They had studied a couple different things in films, and they knew how that kick was going to come off the foot. So they lined up a certain way to block that field goal. Even Peyton Manning had an offense coordinator. Absolutely. Tom Brady did as well. Tom Brady had a lot of different offensive coordinators with the Patriots, right? My 2 blocked field goals call that luck or skill. Look, there's a reason why it's been a long time since the Eagles blocked a field goal, period. It ain't easy to do it. Call it having the best defensive tandem in the league. Bill Berge had 2 blocked field goals and a blocked PAT in 1975. That's a look at that stat pull about the great Bill Berge, the great Bill Berge. Just refreshing my side screen here. Nothing's changed since the last time. This comment is purely for the algorithm. Well, thank you. The algorithm and trending in the AM thanks you for that. Okay, is the in the same game instead? Oh, hey, all 3 in the same game. Damn. Troy Aikman and Buck stink. I don't hate Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. I think they're okay. There's worse out there. What's up, Champ Poppy? He shouldn't have never had to tell him from the get-go we were down almost 20 points. Plus, where was Nick Sirianni head at the time? Same time. Look, I get it. And I get your frustration, Champ. Actually, no, we're going to call you Poppy. I like Poppy. Poppy was sloppy. I love the name Poppy. We're going to go with Poppy for you. I agree with everything that you're saying here. Okay? And Kevin Patullo may be overmatched. It's very possible. But I'm not going to raise the white flag on him 3 weeks into the season, especially when the team's 3-0. Now, if we're 7-0 and it still looks like this, yeah, I'm going to raise the right flag. We're 6-1. I'm definitely, if I'm going to give it some time. Again, remember, Kellen Moore wasn't that special through the first 3-4 weeks last year. A.J. Brown struggled early in the season a few times. 921. Wow. It's crazy. It's crazy there, Nooms. I mean, you were like, 27 at that point? For sure, man. Kevin was trying to go against the grain of what our offense is built off of to try something new. It didn't work, so he went back to what worked, and you saw it on the field. Simple. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Agree with that. You're surprised Tom Brady. Is Tom Brady on the call? Does that mean we're getting the quote-unquote A team from Fox on Sunday? Tom Brady's gotten a little bit better. I still don't like Tom Brady as an announcer, though. Bills versus Saints will be hard. Bills are not going to struggle with the Saints. Bills lock. It's Poppy is sloppy, okay? It's a Seinfeld quote, all right? You were 3 now. You were like 23. Let's be honest. You think Patullo makes the whole season? It's too early to tell. It's too early to answer this question, Adam, because I am not panicking after 3 games. I'm not overreacting to 3 games. I'm looking at how we could be better. I'm looking at what needs to change. We saw some of that change in the last game. But you cannot judge. And I know it's only a 17-game season, so 3 games, you're already 20%, almost 20% into the season here. But I'm not panicking yet. All right? Ask me this question in 3 weeks. Ravens versus Chiefs will be fire like Eagles versus Rams. Is that a game this week, Ravens versus Chiefs? You got two teams. Man, could you imagine which team? What happens in both those cities when one of those teams goes to 1-3 after next week? Damn. Wish flex Bucks and Eagles game. Nah, I'm an old man, Bucks fan, and I do these live watch parties through the games. 1 o'clock's the best for me because I can get done my show, have time to chill, have dinner, set up the Monday morning show. 4 o'clock games are manageable. Night games, I hate them. I hate night games. I need my beauty rest to look this ugly every morning for you guys. 1 o'clock games, I'm up early every day. 1 o'clock games are perfect for me. 1 o'clock games are my jam. I hate to break it to you. It is what it is. Anyway, we spent a lot of time. We're at the top of the hour already, guys, here trending in the AM. And we've basically nonstop talked about the Eagles offense. So please, like this. Please subscribe. Please share. If you don't do those things, you're just hurt. It's free. You're just hurting yourself. You're hurting me. I need those buttons hit. So please do that, guys, and vote on the poll. Only 16 votes today on the poll, even though a lot of people were watching. 17 votes now. 35% say yes, Nick Sirianni. You believe Nick Sirianni. 65% say no. Adam wants to talk Phillies. Well, I was going to bring up the defense a little bit of the Eagles, but we can also talk the Phillies in the final 30 minutes. We are in the final 6, as I like to call it, final 6 regular season games, which you're still trying to play for a first round bye, but you're also trying to get your guys rested and ready. Trey Turner should be back this week. You're trying to get your rotation set up for the playoffs. So there's plenty to talk about with the Phillies as well. Defense has pretty much carried this team. I think the defense has a big glaring question mark on it, and that's run defense. Jordan Davis is in the best shape of his life, and yet the run defense is taking a step backwards. Zach Bond's great. Jihaad Campbell. I mean, again, as I've said 100 times, Jihaad Campbell, the NFL is going to regret massively for the next decade letting Jihaad Campbell fall to the Eagles, which is pretty much everybody. Letting Jalen Carter fall to the Eagles, Jordan Davis fall to the Eagles, Quinion Mitchell fall to the Eagles, Cooper Dejean fall to the Eagles. Half the Eagles' defense, the league is going to regret letting players fall to the Eagles. But the Eagles' run defense has struggled this year. And I just look at the Rams. The Rams didn't lose the game because of penalties. They didn't lose the game because of the blocked field goal. The Rams lost the game because Sean McVay went away from the run, which was dominating the game. A, the run was working. B, the run was keeping the ball out of the Eagles' hands. He continues to run the ball. The Eagles have less possessions to make that comeback. The Eagles' run defense somehow has gotten worse, and I don't know why. Defense always wins Super Bowls, Poppy, and I believe that. And having an elite defense is special. Whoever play Phillies in the playoffs, bet them free money. I don't know about that, but maybe. Who is the best athlete in Tampa sports history? Stamkos, Brooks, Evans, Carl Crawford, Warren Sapp. That can't be the list of the best, can it? Can that be a list? Best athlete or best player? Warren Sapp was probably the best of all. Steve Stamkos. I'm torn on that one there. Athlete or best player? Because there's a difference there. Who's the most athletic? Maybe Carl Crawford was the most quote-unquote athletic of them all. But the best player, that'd be a toss-up maybe between Stamkos and Sapp, in my opinion. Phil's still 2.5 games. They're not only just playing for a wild or first-round bye, but they're playing for the first seat too still. And I do want to see them get at least the bye, if not the first seat. Now, the Mets are on the outside looking in, so we don't even have to worry potentially about playing in Citi Field, which is great. Every defense is carrying every team right now. Philly, what's your point? And that a true statement? Every NFL team that is undefeated, their offenses are semi, while the defense. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Now, I think the thing that I'm bringing up the Eagles' defense is because I think the Eagles' defense can be even better. I mean, we don't even have that many sacks on the season. We're getting pressure. Our guys, Uche and Hunt and Campbell and Bond are like graded out super high in pass rush win rate or whatever analytic stat that is. But they don't have a lot of sacks yet to show for it. So this Eagles defense can get better. And I think that's a scary sign for the NFL. My answer to the poll question is yes and no. I sensed it was more Jalen, but Kevin's still involved. Yeah, I think that's a fair pivot, Jonathan, to the question. Rondé Barber can be mentioned as well. Best athlete in Tampa was for me was Mike Evans. Are we talking athlete or player? Because I think there's a big difference there. Got to tell Cowboys fans stop living in the past. Cowboys fans still think they got a chance, which is just insane. So mad I'm here late. Why are you mad? Don't be mad, elephant in the room. It's a beautiful day. Fall has begun. It's great out. The Eagles are 3-0. The Phillies are about to enter the playoffs. Flyers hockey is back. Who knew? Come on. There's nothing to be mad at. Adams pushed off Reed on the touchdown as well. Absolutely. Devontae Adams pushed off on that. 100%. We are mad, 2L. Why is everybody mad? It's a great day today. It's a great day to be alive. More content for me. Yep. Why are you mad? Tell me. I could be your therapist for a minute. All right? I'll be your cheapest therapist you ever have. The best athlete for the Bucks, Mike Oscar. I loved him. Loved him. For sure. Warwick Dunn was very, very talented running back. He have knee issues. Something cut his career a little shorter than, or did he just burn out quickly? What happened to Cowboys? They stink. They got a bad coach. All right, we gained another one. We're up to 663. Not a bad day. Guys, subscribe, like, share. Let's go. Dak wasn't benched per se. He was benched in the sense that the game was in blowout and they wanted to get Milton some work. 669, here we come. Can't get the 700 until you get to 669 first. Marching to 700s to 1,000 for there. Come on. Phillies suck. Even trash Flyers probably have a better chance to win. Well, I don't know about that. I think you're being a little over the top frustrated there. I can't say I'm massively, confident in the Phillies in the playoffs, but they do have 92 wins at this point. So they're still a good team. They still, like a lot of football teams I've talked about today, they still got to prove it when it matters most in the playoffs, the Phillies. 6 more, yep. Mad at Patullo, mad at Phil's hairline, mad at the sub numbers. What? Man. I will say this, K1. Facebook memories pop up all the time. Man, when I see a Facebook memory from like 2008 or 2010, and I see what my hairline used to look like, I'm like, I don't realize how much it's gone back. Until I see those pictures, I'm like, damn, I really did lose my hairline. Phillies are an elite regular season team. We'll see. Wait, today is not the rapture, is it? Is it? I don't know. It's a beautiful day, even if it is. Cowboys have a quarterback. No, they don't. I mean, at least that would keep them. Jerry Jones did talk about wanting to stay in the headlines at all times. Having a quarterback controversy in Dallas would keep the Cowboys in the media headlines. Oh man, Facebook memories, K1, might be the worst thing in the world. I ain't gonna lie. They really are. What's up, Rick? It's been a few days. Good morning to you. It's a glorious time. I agree. Philadelphia sports fan, if you don't see that and feel that look, absolutely. I'm feeling the positivity flowing through my veins right now. It's fine as in very thin and fine. Here, yes. Speaking of Flyers, I expect a big improvement from the team under Tocchet. He ain't no Dave Haxtell for sure. I expect an improvement. I expect them to make the playoffs. Obviously, my screen is orange this week in honor of the late, great Bernie Parent. And I'm going to leave it like this all week. And with Bernie Parent's passing, it reminds us of how long it's been since we've had a great goaltender in this city. And this Flyers team will never truly improve to the level we want till they find that goalie of the future. Let's not forget, even the 22 Phillies got swept by the basement Cubs in September and lost the series to the Nats. Yeah, that's fine. I'm ready for playoff baseball. I am. Man, I hope we can pay Jalen Carter and Love. Hope we could pay JC and Love for next season. Jalen Carter and who? The backup quarterback cannot do that much worse on the Cowboys. Honestly, that's true. And Jerry Jones loves the headlines. Benching Dak for the what's his name, Milton or whatever. That would be headlines. That would be headlines for sure. Jerry Jones said he thinks they are a playoff team. He said their defense is the problem to get back on track. No, not Dak Prescott's interceptions. Flyers won an 11-round shootout last night. I saw a Matvei Michkov penalty shot. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. I was like, damn, I had no idea Flyers hockey was back. Yeah, I'm talking playoffs. Playoffs, that's right. Cowboys fans love Facebook memories. Yeah, exactly. They have Facebook memories from before Facebook was even a thing. Even I am looking forward to Phillies playoffs. Exactly. Of course, the Cowboys' problem is their defense. They traded away their best fucking player. Of course, it's so easy. Even a caveman can figure this out, right? The Flyers' only chance for the Flyers to win a cup within the next 4 years is to push their chips in for Connor McDavid. I still, Rick, and again, I agree, and I hear you on this. And maybe it's because of the passing of Bernie Parent. We spent some time yesterday talking about that, Rick, on the show, is that the Bernie Parent passing reminds us how long it's been since the Flyers organization has had that goalie. They kind of had it, maybe with Carter Hart, but even before his incident, he was kind of regressing, I remember, a little bit. Bro, I know AJ is a dog, but this game he was looking like Megatron. I think the new rule, they're already trying to ban the tush push, Poppy. But I really think the new rule change that's going to come in the offseason is that as soon as AJ Brown catches the football, he's down on contact immediately. Because it's just too unfair to NFL defensive players to have to tackle a Megatron like AJ Brown. The league is really going to try to ban AJ Brown from advancing the football. I mean, obviously. Yes. Make it happen, Briere. Yes, make it happen. What? GeoCities, what? Remembering Bernie, best goalie in Flyers history. Yeah, more saves than God himself, right? Bedlam in the bank in another week. Yeah, I won't be dropping pennies to go see, or money to see that, though. I'll be watching it at home. Bobrovsky was great goalie for the. They let him go so early in his career. And I mean, I know it wasn't that long ago, but I'm having a hard time remembering why they moved on from him. He was like, what, 23? I want to say when they traded him away. Maybe I'm a little off on that. You know me, in years, I don't really line up very well in my brain anymore. That's the beer and the weed, killing brain cells. But I don't remember why we got rid of him. Only way I'm throwing chips in is if I have a goalie. Absolutely agree. All because they paid Briz. Ilya Brizgalov, is that why they got rid of Bobrovsky? Was that the same time? I thought Briz was after, or Bob's was after that. Brizgalov, the humongous big. I just remember him saying that, humongous big. And everybody making a big deal about that. Dak is cook on Sunday. With all the injuries. CD out, they're saying, for up to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Yeah, we will be playing touch football or flag football eventually. For sure, Chomp, Mr. Poppy. And I joke about changing rules, but I'm pretty sure they're going to make another new rule that Jordan Davis isn't allowed on special teams. A.J. Brown's not allowed to advance the football. Jalen Hurts has to start throwing the football left-handed. So you realize we didn't always have this internet, right? Yeah, I remember my first computer hooked up. The Capitals, did they let him go too? It might be my downfall, honestly. Pele Lindbergh, great, yep, obviously. Bob and Briz were here together. Okay, I thought it was just Stagger. I thought after Briz it was Bob, but together. Gotcha. But they gave that humongous big contract to Brizgalov. I still remember that Flyers HBO special and him sitting at a table all by himself. Even nobody on the Flyers liked Brizgalov because he was so weird. Bad chatter, stop spreading misinformation about weed. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Jalen Carter will get a personal foul on the opening kickoff. He won't even be on the kickoff team and he'll get a personal foul, right? Nobody likes us and we don't care, right? Man, I spent like 10 minutes talking Flyers hockey today. Wow. We're what, 75 minutes in, and I've given 10 minutes to Flyers hockey. What is this world coming to? Is this going to be a Flyers hockey channel now? Am I going to have to put Flyers on the thumbnail occasionally? Then the strike, then the buyout, then the trade for Mason. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right. I remember the strike and the buyout after that. How about Jarrett getting his chain took and Jalen Carter wearing it on the interview was crazy work. Somebody told me that Carter had the chain already before the game, too. But I like that. I really like that fun rivalry. We hate each other. We're going to talk trash. We're going to tear each other's heads off on the field. But let's have a little friendly rivalry off of it. You win, you get my chain. I win, I get your chain. You got my chain now. I got to win it back from you in the playoffs. I love it. I love the chain gang, rivalry right there. Really, any negative repercussions you noticed? What? No. 76ers going to the NBA Finals this season. That is insane. Let me tell you something, Rick. Everyone's hyping Joel Embiid up that he's back on the court. Look at the pictures and videos again. All the players are wearing their scrimmage jerseys. Joel Embiid's just wearing a T-shirt. Because while they're making you believe Joel Embiid is good to go and is going to play, he's actually still not playing. He's just taking shots. So this Joel Embiid hype, I think, is being over-exaggerated a little bit. Not yet, bro. Hoping not. Yeah, exactly. Phil turning him. No, I would never turn into Matty B. You would never get that level of negativity from me. Okay? I will not leave my Homer card at the door. Okay? I just won't do it. I mean, there's worse things to get in life. Worse things to get in life. It's so funny, and it's not funny at the same time. Oh, my God. Such a positive show. Brought down a touch there. Oh, my God. Whatever. Dude, I've definitely put an LB or two on the last year or two. I'll say that. Good for him. And I wish nothing for the best for the it's a wrap. I have no ill will or ill feelings towards anyone. I don't even know why anyone would think that. Joel Embiid is an exaggeration, marketing delusion. I honestly feel that, Jonathan. I really, truly think the Joel Embiid videos and pictures are a marketing ploy to get fans to be like, no, he's going to play. I better get tickets. Oh, I thought he wasn't going to play. Oh, he is? I better get my tickets. I really, truly believe that is the case. And then 2 weeks into training camp, we'll hear that Joel Embiid is still ramping up towards 5-on-5 activities. It's crazy. I'm always okay. They can't get much worse than last year, even if Joel Embiid doesn't play and Paul George does. As long as Tyrese Maxey plays, as long as, Jarrett McCain, VJ Edgecombe, and these guys play out there, they're going to be better than next year or last year. Question is, how much better? I don't know. I have no faith in the Philly, but even way less in the six Phillies win 3 championships before the Sixers win 1. Oh, man. Who's excited for 6? I am excited. I mean, it sucks that it's a Friday, Mitchy Poo, because Friday's my busiest day. And this Friday, I got a lot going on. So I want to watch all the media coverage, and then I want to do a live show immediately after. But I don't think I'll have the time. I wanted to do a live. I was going to, if it's slow, I'll do a live media recap from the pizza shop Friday night. When playoffs start. For what sport? Baseball ends this week. So Monday or Tuesday is the start of baseball playoffs. Hopefully the Phillies get the first round by locking up that number 2 seat, but we'll see what happens there. Who knows when Flyers playoffs start or Sixers. I watched MLB playoffs twice. Kirby Puckett, I loved Kirby Puckett as a kid. One of my favorite players as a kid growing up. And the other day, Phillies had it. Yeah. I was a huge Kirby Puckett fan, by the way. Phillies and Eagles on parallel line. Where do the Sixers and Flyers fall on that parallel line, though? Where do they fall on that line? My father once told me if something was so great, it wouldn't need to be promoted, repeated, or excessively talked about. I mean, you still got to market to an extent, but I get what you're saying. You don't got to promote Joel Embiid's health if he's healthy. Phillies are about to be in red October. Eagles are flying high. Sixers mean absolutely nothing to me. Steve, 1,000%. I mean, we'll dabble in Sixers here and there, and we'll dabble in Sixers the day or two before the season starts. But the Sixers are the third or fourth story. They're on page 3 or 4, to be honest, right? I see this. You're nuts. You're nuts, guys. You're nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. You never miss a moment to kick me while I'm down. If and when Phil gets raptured, I get you baseball junk. What? Man, the Sixers are not going to anything, just like my Bulls every year. Absolutely not. And the Bulls aren't much either. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on with the Bulls right now. Phillies 2 seed pseudo bye week this weekend. The Eagles were the 2 seed. I expect, actually, I was looking at the starters projected. I would almost expect them to not pitch Sanchez on Sunday, which he's scheduled to pitch right now. Get that pseudo bye week in. You want to get Trey Turner back. Let him get a couple at bats, obviously. But yeah. And the 2 seat's all I really care about. I would love the 1 seat, Rick, obviously. Guaranteed all playoff games in Philly. But I'll take the 2 seat and find that acceptable. At least we get that little bit of a break. I don't know. Sometimes you break my heart. You break my heart. Don't ever go take sides against the family, K1, just so you know. That is the dumbest thing he says. Homer card. You're not down, Phil. You're just not taking shortcuts and creating a product that needs to be replaced in 4 times less time. Yeah, that's true. I don't take shortcuts. That is for sure. I could take shortcuts. A little side thing. I always look at the views and the analytics of my shows, and I look at a show like yesterday. I got 663 subscribers. And over 215 people watched the show on YouTube yesterday. It's like almost a 35% of my subscribers and people, the 35% of the subscriber number tuned in. Now, they weren't all subscribers, but whatever. I see so many other channels with 2, 3, 4,000, 10,000, 20,000, barely getting 1% of their subscriber number to tune into shows. It makes me think at least I'm doing things right. So I want more people to find it so I could do more. I would do longer shows. I would do more shows every day if we get those numbers up. See, why couldn't my parents give me a cool-ass name like Kirby Puckett? Instead, I'm stuck with some typical white boy name. Honestly, I don't even remember your name off the top of my head, reality check. It's been so long since we talked on a show. I'm Philip. How average is that? Kirby Puckett was an awesome player. Had an eye injury or eye issue. Chubbier guy. Like, is it a surprise that two of the so I had 3 players growing up that I loved, okay, that weren't Philadelphia Phillies players, okay? 3. They were Ken Griffey Jr., they were Kirby Puckett, and Tony Gwynn. And 2 of those guys were chubby fat guys that just hit the ball and played great baseball, fundamentally sound baseball. I loved Kirby Puckett, fundamentally sound. I never stopped grinding. I'd be happy with my pocket. I don't know why it doesn't. I can look at your YouTube channel for you. I mean, you work for another YouTube channel, but send me some things, and we'll have to chat about that. I can help people's YouTube channels grow. I know a lot of the things that work and don't work, and I think a lot of people set their YouTube show up wrong in the early stages of their show, or before they're getting the numbers that they need to get. It's because people can't resist the urge to click on BS like, I can't believe that he said this. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I kind of swung a smidge in that direction. I do ask ChatGPT to help me with titles and keywords. Like today, did they prove anything, the Eagles? That is because most subscribers are bots. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. That this changes everything. What changes everything? I was a big Vlad. I did like Vlad Guerrero a lot too. Adrian Beltre, yeah, I didn't mind watching him. But Vlad Guerrero, when he wasn't playing against the Phillies, because he destroyed the Phillies at every opportunity. Nothing like fundamentals. Fundamentals are key. Plus, we need a catchy show title like STD. What? I don't have what? Alfonso Soriano too. He didn't really do anything for me. Clickbaity titles, what? Been trying to tell y'all since last season the Chargers are for real. I'm not honored. If I can't write a team off after 3 games, I can't be for sure a team's for real after 3 games. But they're getting a bump in my power rankings for sure again this week, Rick. They got put in them last week, and they're getting a bump into the top 5 this week. It was a good win. I don't know if I need to stop thinking about the Broncos as being a good team. But if I don't want to take away, if that makes sense. I don't want to take away from the Chargers' win on the Broncos by saying the Broncos aren't good as I thought. Herbert is not a great quarterback. Herbert sucks. I get Phil's baseball stuff hands off. What? Coco Crisp, that was a name. It was a cool name for sure. Phil would have the most content prepared for a Hurts versus Herbert Super Bowl. Dude, I would be live for like 68 straight hours if it was Hurts versus Herbert, just bashing Justin Herbert. I would be shocked if Justin Herbert ever gets to a Super Bowl. I'll say that, Steven, for sure. Would be utterly shocked. Chargers legit Super Bowl type of team as Kanye West is to becoming president. I didn't know where you're going with that right there. What a surprise. Andy Reid finally in a good division, and what happens? Yeah. Look at Herbert's numbers in the first 4 years compared to Dan Marino. Yeah, and he's got just look. Numbers don't. I don't really care about stats. I care about wins. Winning when it matters. Winning in the playoffs. Winning in big late December games. It's Justin Herbert's come up small in the big moments. Yeah, he puts up flashy numbers overall. He comes up small in the big moments. Example, this changes everything for YouTube video on a trivial free agency signing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Broncos are led by a sophomore quarterback. What did you expect? Everybody was hyping up Jaden Daniels' sophomore slump, but nobody was hyping up the Bo Nix sophomore slump. Herbert is a poor man's Phillip Rivers. That's what I've always said. That's good clickbait. It is. Dude, mine growing up was Ken Griffey Jr. I was a huge Cal Ripken Jr. fan, too. Brady Anderson was a roid-raging one-hit wonder, though. Herbert made some plays this week. Yeah, he did. Good job. Numbers are pretty. W makes you a legend. Exactly. W's in the playoffs. W's in the Super Bowl. That's what makes you a legend. Getting to the Super Bowl makes you a legend. Yeah, Brady Anderson was a one-hit wonder with juice. Brady was the perfect example. Brady and what was the dude from the Diamondbacks? Luis Gonzalez. There was one. Juan Gonzalez. There was a lot of Gonzalez's on the juice back then. Brady Anderson was a fraud, though, for sure, in my opinion. Ryan Sandberg was not a juicer. He was a great baseball player. Terrible Phillies manager, but always rest in peace. Absolutely. I was a Sandberg fan. I wore number 20 because of Mike Schmidt, but also because of Ryan Sandberg when I was a kid playing Little League. Impossible. I know. Ken Griffey Jr., arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. Brady Anderson had that great 96 season that everyone swore he was on steroids. He was never, I thought he was on the list. He didn't make the list. Brady Anderson just came out of nowhere that year. I thought he was on the list, though. Many juicers can't just single him out. Oh, we don't single him out. We single them all out. Ozzie was the one I loved watching play. Ozzie Smith was great. Nothing like watching Ozzie Smith do his backflip on when he would run out into the field. Allen and Jackson have not won squat, but people ride them. I don't. I've said it before that they need to win when it matters most. That's why I put Jalen Hurts above those two quarterbacks, Rick. Because Jalen Hurts, to me, the most important statistic or category or skill set to be a successful and great quarterback in the NFL is you have to have the it factor. The it factor is a measurable thing. Came from nowhere. Yeah. Out of nowhere like an RKO. You just made the list. You just made the list. I could care less that he might come back for the Royal Rumble. What's up, Brianna? How you doing this morning? Guys, we're coming up to the final 2 or 3 minutes of the show today. What's on tomorrow? More Phillies. We'll recap today's Phillies game, obviously. We'll dive into Vic Fangio will speak today. I can't wait to hear what he says about Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and the run defense. What he says about the cornerback situation. Saw a stat that Adoree Jackson was actually pretty better on Sunday. I don't know, but supposedly he was. We'll hear from Kevin Patullo. I'm sure he will get drilled about the changes in the offense halfway through the game. And we will continue talking how it is a glorious time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Yes, it's the 2-minute warning. Not 3-minute, 2-minute. You want a wrestling reference. Allen and Jackson are both great fantasy football quarterbacks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Value? You want value? Well, you got to pay for value. Phil, I don't care that he threw for 5,000 yards. Did you win? Exactly. That's all I care about. Wins are all that matters. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great stuff, man. Unlike Ridley Scott. Another movie. I really think you were wronged by Ridley Scott at some point in your life. Because pretty much every movie you bash Elephant is a Ridley Scott movie. And I don't know why, but whatever. Tulip. Yeah, I missed the Tulip song, but it got flagged, so I can't use it anymore. We might not have Adoree Jackson or Bennett. I didn't even know Jacorian Bennett and Darius Cooper got hurt in that game. I saw Adoree Jackson got hurt. Just learned yesterday that Cooper and Bennett got hurt. I guess that means Mac McWilliams is up next? I don't know. Ridley Scott hasn't made a good movie in 20 years. According to Elephant in the Room, he's never made a good movie. Anyway, I'm going to write that down. I got to go through Ridley Scott's movie list. I know some of them. I know some of them, but I got to figure that out. Hell no, Bennett was tackling Jackson, would have been getting stiff-armed. Yeah, but supposedly he got hurt as well. Mike McGuire, Barry Bonds, are you serious? All these guys are juicers. I've met both of them several times, and you'd be surprised at which one was the nicer guy. Actually, you might not be surprised which one was cooler in person. Gladiator is one of my favorites, really set the bar. I mean, that might have been his last good one, right? Ridley Scott, The Martian, was fantastic. Never saw that. Mark McGuire was not. You're saying because you spelled it wrong. I knew what you meant. Barry Bonds was a much nicer person than Mark McGuire, just personally speaking. Phil had a full head of hair when Gladiator was made. Yeah. What it was like to have a full head of hair. Anyway. Guys, I got to wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. More Eagles content. What will Vic Fangio and Kevin Patullo say today? What else will we learn about this Eagles team today? Phillies. Recap. More Flyers, maybe some more Sixers. A little bit of everything. Ridley Scott has been tripping on that bar. Yeah, absolutely. W Show, thank you very much. Guys, if you haven't yet already, if you haven't, please subscribe. It means a lot. And please share this out. We'll be back tomorrow with another show live at 8 a.m. as always. Everybody have a great Tuesday, guys. Go Birds. Bubbles up.